Imagine a place where hope does not exist, where people are punished for things they didn't even do, and every day is a fight to stay alive. These are North Korea's secret prison camps, places so brutal that most of the world has never seen what happens inside. Today you'll hear real stories from the few who made it out alive. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will shock you. Number 1. Hye Sook, Kaechon Camp. One of North Korea's prison camps is the Kaechon concentration camp. It is a large prison compound of around 300 meters long and 300 meters wide. It is surrounded by a 4 meters high wall with barbed wire on top. The prison is believed could contain about 4,000 men and 2,000 women. Most prisoners in this camp are said to be political prisoners mixed with common criminals. Ordinarily, prisoners are to be released after re-education through labor and serving their sentence in this. But it appears otherwise, as the prison sentences are very long and the conditions are extremely harsh, with many not surviving their prison sentences. Hye Sook, one of the survivors of this camp, shares her experience in this camp. Lee, who at one point was a senior member of the Korean Workers' Party, narrated how she was detained on what she claimed were false charges. She spoke about how she was in the prison until she confessed, just so she could be released from torture. Lee was transferred to Kaechon re-education camp to serve a 13-year term, where she was tortured and abused during her incarceration. Unfortunately, this inhumane treatment in the Kaechon camp is said to be corroborated by Kang Chol-hwan, a well-known activist and author. During her stay in prison, Lee was assigned to do some accounting work for the camp. As a professional accountant, Lee earned the respect of the prison administrators and was eventually freed after 5 years. After release, Lee was unable to find her husband, but with her son, she took the commonest route to South Korea, where she walked across the frozen Tumen River on the North Korean-Chinese border. She was, however, considered illegal and deported back to China. She has since worked to raise awareness about the Kim regime, particularly in respect of freedom of religion. Number 2. Mr. Lee, Kwanliso 16. Kwanliso 16 is one of North Korea's prisons. It is near Hwaseong in North Hamgyong province, and it's approximately 215 square miles. This prison is one of the least investigated areas in North Korea's vast political prison camp system. In 2011, an estimated 20,000 people were believed to be imprisoned at Kwanliso 16, to tell you how big the prison is. Recent images taken, however, indicate that there's a slight increase in Kwanliso 16's population, with newly built housing blocks clearly visible. Kwanliso 16 is not just known for its prison camp. There's reportedly significant economic activity such as mining, logging, and agriculture around the area. There's also an expansion of an industrial area within Kwanliso 16. However, Kwanliso 16 is no different from other prisons in the way they treat prisoners in North Korea. Testimony from former detainees and officials reveals how prisoners spend most of their time being forced to work in extremely dangerous conditions with inadequate food and very little sleep. Mr. Lee, a former security official at Camp 16 in the 1980s and 1990s, spoke of the methods used to execute prisoners. He told how detainees were forced to dig their own graves and were then killed with hammer blows to their necks. He also witnessed prison officers strangling detainees and then beating them to death with wooden sticks. According to Mr. Lee, women were killed after being raped because the secrets could not be allowed to go out. This, he said, happens in most of the political prison camps in North Korea. Number 3. Kim Young-soon, Kwanliso 15. Kwanliso 15 covers an area of 142 square miles and is located in central North Korea, around 45 miles from the capital Pyongyang. In 2011, an estimated 50,000 people were imprisoned in the camp, with the population concentrated in river valleys. The new images of Kwanliso 15, also known as Yodok, show that 39 housing blocks have been demolished since it was last assessed to satellite in 2011. Only 6 new housing blocks have been built. The decrease in housing could indicate a slight reduction in the Kwanliso population. However, the population of the prisoners could not be definitely verified. As with Kwanliso 16, security remains extremely tight in Yodok, and there is significant economic activity. Logging activities are clearly visible, as is the processing of raw lumber in what is thought to be a furniture factory. There have also been reports of inmates being treated in unspeakable ways in this camp. Kim Young-soon, a former detainee and North Korea Army dancer in Camp 15 between 1980 and 1989, described a public execution she witnessed of 2 detainees who were caught attempting to escape. She explained how they were first half beaten to death and brought to a stage after they were badly beaten. She said the prisoners were tied to wooden stakes and shot 3 times in their head, chest, and feet. Kim Young-soon, who was arrested along with 7 other family members, said she knew that a school friend, Sung-hae Rim, had been taken to be the secret mistress of future North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. She revealed that she was arrested for speaking about it, claiming she didn't know it was a crime. Kim revealed that inmates of the camp were woken each morning at 3:30 and forced to work hard labor from sun up until sun down. And if work goals were missed, the whole group was punished. In what was a disturbing revelation, Kim said one of her sons, age 9, drowned in a river near the camp, and following her release, authorities gave one of her daughters away for adoption. Another of her sons, 23, was publicly executed by firing squad in 1993 for attempting to escape to South Korea following his release from the camp. She added that from her original family of 8 people, only 2 have survived and successfully escaped from North Korea, but the other 6 people have all died. Number 4. Kim Hye Sook, Bukchang Prison. The Bukchang camp is the oldest North Korean prison camp and was already erected by 1958. Like in Yodok camp, there is one section for political prisoners in lifelong detention and another section functioning as a re-education camp. These sections were said to be completely separated earlier and therefore are named Pukchang and Tukchang respectively. While all the other political prison camps belong to the State Security Department, Pukchang camp is run by the Interior Ministry. The camp is around 73 kilometers square and is surrounded by a 4-meter high fence, which is approximately 13 feet high, making it difficult for prisoners to escape. Around 50,000 prisoners reportedly live in Pukchang concentration camp. Prisoners' treatment in this camp is believed not to be different from other political camps in North Korea. And now, Kim Hye Sook, who escaped from North Korea in 2009 and now lives in South Korea, has revealed at a hearing called by a House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on what it looked like when she was in Bukchang prison. Kim said she was dragged to the political prison camp number 18 of the Bukchang prison in South Pyongyang province together with her parents at the age of 13. Kim revealed that human lives were worth less than those of flies in the camp. Sent to work in the camp's coal mines, Kim said she was plagued with hunger. Kim, who was held there for 28 years, said that she learned only after her release that she had been taken to the camp because her grandfather had defected to South Korea years before. Kim was eventually released, but lost her mother, brother, and grandmother in the camp. Her father had been taken to the camp before her and had vanished without a trace. Kim also revealed that her siblings are still incarcerated at camp number 18. She also spoke about bodies of people who were killed by firing squads, were rolled up in straw mats and carried away in carts, while others died of starvation. She finally called on the US lawmakers to help end human rights abuses in the country. Number 5. Jihyun Park, Onsong concentration camp. The Onsong concentration camp was an internment camp in Changpyeong, Onsong County, North Hamgyong, North Korea. It reportedly housed approximately 15,000 political prisoners. The camp was officially known as Concentration Camp Kwanliso No. 12. Here's a story of the Jihyun's family regarding this particular North Korea's concentration camp. Reports have it that Jihyun Park's father was ill, and he begged his family to leave North Korea. Park's mother bribed the border guards to let them cross the river into China, as she was said to have found a broker who promised a good job in China. Instead, Park was sold as a wife to an alcoholic farmer for 5,000 yuan. She spent 6 years as his slave, working 16 hours a day. Her only source of happiness was her son, Chol. Chol was 5 when Park was arrested and deported to North Korea. She was sent to the Onsong camp where the conditions were unspeakable and the prisoners worked like animals. Park and her fellow inmates had to clear the hills of trees so that crops could be planted. It was said that the prisoners were not allowed to wear shoes, and the skin on Park's feet became broken and calloused from the rough stones on the ground. Jihyun's wounds became infected and gangrene set in. She was later released because the guards wanted her to die outside the prison camp, but slowly recovered from her wounds. And although she walked with a limp, Park managed to escape to China, where she found her son, who had been left to starve. She fell in love with another defector, and the 3 of them were granted asylum in Britain. Number 6. Ahn Myong Chol, Onsong prison guard. Ahn Myong Chol, who worked as a prison guard in one of the Onsong concentration camp for over a decade, gave a report of what life was for prisoners while he was working in the prison camp. Ahn revealed that he was trained that prisoners were not to be treated as human beings, adding that they were encouraged to kill any inmate who attempted to escape. He said if a guard managed to kill an escapee, he was rewarded. He mentioned how many guards shot innocent people so that they would be allowed to go to college. Sharing his experience, Ahn recalled how one of his colleagues ordered a prisoner to climb the barbed wire fence. The colleague shot the prisoner and left for college. He revealed that guards murdered for fun as well. Ahn described watching two girls try to take a piece of a noodle from one polluted pond where the garbage was dumped, and a guard walked by and kicked the kids into the small pond, with both girls drowning. And in what seemed to be the most horrific moments for Ahn, he revealed there was a time when 3 dogs got away from their handler and attacked 5 children. He added that the 3 of the children were killed instantly and the other 2 children were still breathing when the guards buried them alive. He said the guards petted the dogs and fed them special food as a reward. Ahn revealed that his father also made a few drunken negative remarks about the country's leadership and had his family detained. Ahn added that he was worried that he would be taken, but he arranged and drove his truck to the shore and swam to China, from where he later fled to South Korea. And that's a wrap on Inside North Korea's most horrific prison camps. What do you think about North Korea's prison camps, and which one blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments, smash that like button if you enjoyed the ride, and subscribe for more wild luxury stories from the world of sports and celebrity. Until next time, live legendary.